Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up, guys? Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well. We have some unfortunate Star Wars gaming news for the Knights of the Old Republic remake game. It seems as though that it may be dead. Originally announced all the way back in 2021, the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake game has been through development turmoil from the start. It was first developed by Asprey Media before Embracer Group shifted the game over to Saber Interactive in August of last year, 2022, giving it a much more hopeful, embrace and that it would actually become something. During this, though, Grubb also mentioned that the game may have been moved away from Saber Interactive as well. Since the announcement of moving from Asprey Media, nothing has been said by anyone involved about the state of the game until seemingly now. In this video, we are going to be taking a read from GameSpot.com. I'll have their article linked in the description down below. We also have our merch store up live and running with a couple promo codes for you guys to get some money off from our merch. The holiday season is right around the corner and you might find some perfect gifts on there. Go check it out. Linked in the description down below. Embracer Group's troubled Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake game, as they read, is reportedly no longer in active development, according to GameSpot's sister site, Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb. In the latest episode of Grubb's video game news show, Game Mess Mornings, Grubb had definitely stated that the Knights of the Old Republic remake, once being handled by developer Asprey Media, but later announced to be the co-project between it and Saber Interactive, is not being worked on at all right now. Saying that the game is not being worked on right now. Full stop, Grubb said. This game is not being worked on in any way at the studio, he says. Grubb's statement comes after a report last year that stated that the game had been delayed indefinitely, following the firing of two lead developers at Asprey working on the project. It was additionally reported that Saber Interactive was taking on full control over the development of the title as well. And though the publisher, Embracer, has not yet confirmed that the project has fully changed hands, it did state in August of last year, as I had mentioned, that one of the company's AAA projects has transitioned to another studio within the group, in order to ensure that the quality bar is where it needs to be for this title. The remake of BioWare's beloved 2003 Star Wars RPG for PlayStation 5 and PC was announced with a teaser trailer during a PlayStation showcase in 2021, nearly 3 years ago, with Sony set to co-publish the title. Flash forward to September of this year, though. Sony removed any mention of the title from its YouTube and social media channels recently, just in September, instantly sparking the concern about the project's future. Sony has stated that it removed the trailer due to needing to delist assets with licensed music when the licenses had expired, kind of seemingly just kind of putting under the rug is what it made it seem like. And that answer didn't really exactly allay fan concerns, though. It just made it seem that they were lying about it and that they were kind of just putting this one under the rug and they were shelving the project and not working on it anymore. It just wasn't worth the time or the energy, the resources. Sony has not really elaborated on it further, though, but according to Grubb and his report, they want nothing to do with the project going forward, actually. Grubb theorizes that the only party that could potentially save the project would have to be Lucasfilm themselves. The only reality of this game getting made is if Lucasfilm completely takes it over and does all the work themselves to spin it back up, he says. No way that this game is ever going to happen. That's my opinion right now. Ending that quote right there. When later asked about the status of Knights of the Old Republic in the remake game during a recent financial presentation, Embracer CEO Lars Wingsfors said, "I noticed that anything I say to this becomes a headline, so that is my only comment." Ending that quote right there. They're really just kind of dodging any questions about it. It really seems like he doesn't even want to answer the question on, like, when asked about the Old Republic remake game for Star Wars, he says, I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to even comment on this because it's going to become a headline. And there's a 50-50 I might make that the title of this video, actually. Jokes aside, though, it's sad. It's really sad to see this game just go down in flames, especially. I mean, it's one thing to see these projects, not even games, but in the recent, for both shows, movies, and just any project for Star Wars, when they get canceled or silently silently pushed to the side and silently canned or put back on the shelf. It's sad to see that happen, but this is, I think, an especially sad case because it seems that this one's going down in flames. They don't want anything to do with it. Something went wrong with the original game studio from those reports. If you're not completely in the loop with this overall, is that something went wrong. There just wasn't, it was just like not a good game studio to work for. There was employees being fired left and right, and employees quitting left and right and left. Reports were saying that it was just a toxic game studio to work for and be involved with, and from there moving the project, the title for the Knights of the Old Republic remake game, to other studios, shuffling it around, people getting fired. It's just something that went down in flames, and this one is just a sad one to see go down. And I have to agree with Grubb and what he said here. He just put it very flat out that he doesn't think that this game is ever going to happen. That's just the reality of it, and that seems to be the reality of it. It seems to be unfolding right in front of our eyes right now. The Knights of the Old Republic remake isn't the first time Asprey Media has encountered problems over its handling of a Star Wars project, and specifically Knights of the Old Republic. Asprey's remaster of the Knights of the Old Republic 2 for Nintendo Switch initially promised to include much of the game's cut content as a DLC. The studio later announced the restored content DLC wouldn't be happening, and instead offered those who purchased the game another free Star Wars game of their choosing. That's another prime example of where they go wrong. You pay for something, you pre-order for something, and they say, well, never mind, we're going to cut corners and be lazy about it and just not do it, is kind of what they're saying. That sparked a class action lawsuit against Asprey as a game company, with disgruntled fans who purchased the game accusing the developer of false advertising. It really baffles me from the get-go that Lucasfilm would even entrust this game studio, Asprey, to take on this project again, as they have previously shown themselves that they can't handle this kind of thing previously before, with, dropping the ball with this one with their DLC content. And just not developing and delivering the game that they had announced that they would be doing. Asprey has since stated it planned to release the DLC, but was blocked from doing so by an unnamed third party's objections from there. As I had mentioned, it's just sad. It's sad to see this one go down, and it's sad to see this one go down in flames, with just so much going on that's just wrong with this game company, Asprey. As I had mentioned, I'm further baffled that Lucasfilm would entrust them, this game studio, Asprey, to remake Knights of the Old Republic or even work on a Star Wars project, let alone just hands down again after the disaster that they had called, with a whole lawsuit going on against them for false advertising. Let me know what you guys are thinking on this one in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.